Well, folks, welcome to One Edition Politics and Random. Berto is your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today. Lee Grant, welcome aboard. Eric Hayes, welcome aboard. Robert Davenport, welcome aboard. Bridge MCP, welcome aboard. AVQ, also known as El Senor Michael Rudnin, welcome aboard. Did I forget anybody that started out in the show? Those of you that are still coming in, let yourself be known because I want to tell all my peeps, hello, how art thou doing? Well, raced over again from KPFT. We had a great day at KPFT. Good contributions to get to our $150,000 to keep that station, the only progressive station in the entire Southeast Texas, alive. And Texas is huge. And with our 100,000 watt transmitter, we are so far slowly, we're a third of the way there. Slowly getting there. But anyway, folks, we're going to have a great show for you today. E2247 is in the house. He says, hello today. All right. Michael Rudnin starting with the production. The Guardian, Trump reportedly wants to testify before January 6th committee, but only if live. Ex-president privately tells aides he wants to speak before the House committee. Live reports say after subpoena is issued, no problem. Call Trump to testify. Put him under oath. Have the FBI there ready to charge perjury of the Congress when he lies. That man can't go 5 minutes without going off script into a meandering rant and line about the thing. So I say yes, call his bluff. Michael, I'm with you, man. Call the damn bluff. Bring him to testify live. You know why? I want that. The guy's a liar. The guy's a thief. The guy's a thug. We are not trying to put something on him political. That's who he is. He's a thug. He's a criminal. I love it. Let's bring him in live. The committee say yes. There's nothing he can do. Absolutely nothing because we've got his number. The guy is a lying, thuggish thief. Come on, we can do that. All right, continuing. Politico. The Trump subpoena will be the headline, but the real Washington news was elsewhere. The U.S. Supreme Court turned down Trump's request to allow a special master in the Mar-a-Lago case to review classified documents. The unsigned order involved a relatively narrow dispute, but the lack of any dissent suggests that the court may not give Trump the protection he will seek from the Justice Department should it end up indicting Trump for violating one or more federal laws. For all the legal landmines in Trump's path, breaking Georgia's law on election interference, a possible contempt citation if he refuses to comply with today's subpoena, the Mar-a-Lago case remains the most damaging to Trump, especially considering that at different times he has more or less acknowledged breaking one or more of the laws regarding federal documents. Exactamente. Houston Chronicle, Michael Rudnin. Report says Governor Greg Abbott used $1 billion in COVID-19 aid to pay for border mission. The governor allegedly swiped states' agencies' general revenues with pandemic relief funds and used the department's funds to pay for Operation Lone Star to hire guards, build border barriers, and bus 12,000 migrants out of state. This is about as bad a political scandal as a governor can get using federal monies for, he'll go to jail. But in Texas, for the folks that support him, hey, look what he did. He gave it to the libs. Biden gave him money for COVID, that crap. We went ahead and used that money to go ahead and send those people to the libs, those sanctuary cities. We sent them to the libs. Don't worry, man. It's all going to take place because you guys are going to vote, right? I'll give my little vote rant that I gave earlier today at KPFT in a little bit. Common dreams. Ron Johnson booed and laughed at in the debate with progressive challenger Mandela Barnes. When Senator Johnson talks about making Social Security discretionary spending, that means he is coming for your retirement. Barnes said, referring to Wisconsin Republican comments during a recent radio interview. It's odd that you can make the argument about inflation and low costs are increasing and not supporting raising the minimum wage. Jake Spence, Wisconsin State Director of Working Families Party, said in a statement, Trump Republicans like call him MAGA Republicans like Johnson because it's not Trump. Trump is MAGA. And like that woman said that I played for you several months ago, Trump did not create MAGA. MAGA created Trump. Let's get it right. Trump didn't create it. Trump was like the billboard. Trump made it cool to be that evil because that evil stayed behind closed doors, but Trump made it vogue. Trump Republicans like Johnson are good at just two things: restricting others' freedoms and raking in millions of dollars for himself and his donors at the expense of working families. Once we get people to understand that, things will go great. Lee Grant, welcome aboard. Eric A. says, Lena claims to be a wartime judge in front of a wartime candidate. First of all, that woman was not a wartime candidate. She well, I should shut up because, Eric, let me ask you, did she serve in Iraq or Afghanistan? I don't think she did, but if I'm wrong, correct me, please. I didn't research it. But for some reason, I hadn't gotten any indications that she was in either Iraq or Afghanistan. Otherwise, something tells me they would have blown it up in ads, but I could be wrong. So find that out for me, Eric. I'll take your word on it. She served, yes, led 100. No, that's not what I asked. I asked, did she serve in Iraq or Afghanistan? Please find that out and give me a definitive answer, not a I think, maybe, possibly, whatever. If you take a look at when I ask our posse questions that I can't research immediately, they come back immediately with a link and actual information, not fantasy that we are accustomed to from the right. Give the supporting link. Thank you. All right, let's see what we got here. Eric Hayes says, reverse engineering a Tesla, very interesting, using an LS motor too. Probably makes the EV power people sick. Okay. All right, let's continue. Eric says, Saudis defy Joe as he tells them to wait a month to cut production. Oh, really? And so he asked them to wait a month to cut production, and that's a scandal, right? To give Americans a reprieve for a month. Yeah. And you try to equate that with what Donald Trump did with Levinsky, right? Yeah, okay. If that's what you want to do, I can't stop you, brother. If that's how your mind works, I can't stop it from working that way. I just won't promote it onto our PDR posse, the rest of our PDR posse, because you are a member of our PDR posse too. All right, let's see. Bridge MCP says Russia, Saudi, and Trump all are in cahoots. Exactly. Trump is not an American. Trump is a traitor. All right, yes, please talk live. Let him. There you go, Bridge. You are on the same wavelength with me. Lee Grant says, hey, Egberto, please join me in condemning the attack on free speech that happened just down the road at the University of Houston. Ahead of screening, liberals on campus completely tore down posters advertising the event, while Antifa and other radical leftist groups disseminating flyers inciting others to mobilize in protest against virulent transphobe Matt Walsh on campus. I agree with you, Lee Grant. I agree with you. I want those right-wing hacks to come onto the university campuses and spew their poison. And I want the regular, average, progressive, and conservative citizens to sit in that audience. And I want you to then refute these guys on an intellectual basis. Lee Grant, I condemn, by the way, I didn't read that, but I condemn I condemn if what you said occurred, that is what I condemn. And I mean it. We progressives do not have to hide from our morality. We don't have to stop the evil from spreading it and enlightening. I want people to hear how these people think. I really do. I want Americans to hear the evil within so that we can refute it. But if we're tearing down their banners and all of that, we cannot do that. So, Lee Grant, sir, we are in 100% agreement. All right, let's see. Michael Rodman said, sending immigrants to sanctuary cities after lying to them. You know what that's called? Human trafficking and kidnapping as well. Number 45 got beat 9-0 in 5 hours. Twice, actually. 9-0 on the panel and 9-0 at the Supreme Court. Huh! Oh, you did say that. I'm sorry, I didn't even see. We're thinking the same way, brother. Paul Fleming, thank you for showing up here as well. Paul Fleming was also listening to our KPFT show. Carl Cox is in the house. Conservative GOP support dictatorship around the world, including America. All right. Eric Hay says she served. Yes, led hundreds. Okay. Since you haven't provided any links, I'll have to do that myself. Egberto, don't know if Lina Hidalgo is a military veteran. I checked the wiki and did a general search and found nothing. Lina Hidalgo did not serve in the military. Lina Hidalgo is a college grad from, I think, Harvard or Princeton or one of those. So she didn't serve in the military. Let me qualify when I say serve in the military. You don't have to serve in the military to serve society. You can serve in the military, go kill other people to keep our democracy. But you can also come here and serve your country. You can feed the poor. You can enlighten folks so that they don't vote against your own interests. All of those things are service. You don't have to work in the military to serve. I know a lot of my wife's pastor. He serves. He's empowering he's showing others how to empower themselves to do a whole lot of stuff. I have a lot of respect for that. It doesn't take carrying a gun to serve. It is imperative, it is important that is understood. All right? It is important to understand that. All right. Paul Fleming says, it's funny that you ask Republicans for facts. They're not interested. They don't care. They're just demanding what they want. True. Robert Davenport says, okay, right-wingers, why are you against anti-fascists? Lee Grant, explain why you are mad anti-fascist but never speak out against the evil of fascism. I would hope Lee Grant would sometime talk about the evils of fascism. I agree with you, sir. All right, let's see. Melanie Keelan says, hey, y'all. Melanie is in the house, as well as our beautiful Yvette Avery Herod. Afternoon PDR posse, she says. Eric Hayes says her words were debunked. Hidalgo compared herself to wartime in front of a war veteran. And what's wrong with that? We were at war with a virus, and she was the general fighting the virus in Harris County. I have no problem with that statement. In fact, I tell you, I think Lina Hidalgo is the best person for the job, and not only that, I think Lina Hidalgo has outshone every single of those people in a long time. So your choice to accept it or not, I really don't care, but that's how it is. My brother, John Cotter, is in the house. He says, sadly, Republicans do not think service to the community has value. It has just as much value as serving or putting your life on the line. In fact, let me get further. Those guys in Pasadena, Texas, who jump into those oil tanks, some of them losing their lives because of the corporatocracy not investing in the right equipment, they die serving you. Right? We have a lot of people that don't have to go to war, who maim themselves, who hurt themselves, or who put themselves at risk to serve. Okay? I know I'm not going to be self-serving here, but some people just find it so hard to believe, but I gave up a company to do this, to serve. At the contributions that I get here to support what I'm doing, that it's a lot less. But I tell you what, you would be surprised if any one of you who dispute and serve actually served. You'd understand it. All my peeps here, you watch John Cotter, you watch Melanie Keelan, you watch all the supporters of this program. They're serving. They're serving to promote us making our brothers and sisters aware. Okay? So let's not just think that carrying a gun and killing people are the only way to serve. John Cotter is absolutely right about that. AVQ says, John Cotter, it depends who's doing the service and which communities are being served. It's amazing that sometimes that's the way they think, right? But John, you're absolutely right, Brother Cotter. You're absolutely right. All right. I have an ad that I want to show you guys, but I think I'm going to take another subject first. I want you to listen to how Biden spoke about inflation. I think it's time for Democrats to stop running away from just telling the truth about what's going on here. And I like how Biden started, but I don't think he finished, for which, you know what? I think I finished it for him. So let's take this and we'll then come back on the other side. President Biden had an answer on inflation that I really loved. I would have expanded it a bit more to specify the reason why I ended with, if you elect Republicans, inflation is likely to go up. I would have said it a bit differently well, I tell you what, let's listen to the president and then I'll have my commentary at the other end.
Americans are squeezed by the cost of living. It's been true for years, and folks don't need a report to tell them they're being squeezed. And a lot of people are hurting these days. And today's report shows, though, some progress. Overall, inflation was 2% over the last 3 months. That's down from 11% over the prior 3 months. And that's progress. Republican wins, inflation is going to get worse. It's that simple.
Look. President Biden is absolutely true. But what he hasn't said in that statement is something that people could have a bit more a gut feeling in. Yes, if Republicans are elected, yes, inflation rate will go up. But who will it go up for specifically? It will go up for the middle class and the poor. Why specifically? Because the policies that they support move all of your wealth and income to the few, with tax cuts that help the few, and with nothing there to protect against the price increases caused by the problems created or the issues created by those who make the most. They created the supply chain problem. They created just-in-time inventory. They created the response to COVID. They are the ones who decided to offshore all or much of our production, and they are the ones who, to solve that problem, increased the prices on us because they could. They are the ones who did and said, we will since we won't change our price scheme, the Fed will come in, increase interest rates. And guess who profits from higher interest rates? The bankers do. You pay more for less. You pay more for your credit cards. You pay more for your mortgage. You pay more for your rent. And who makes the profit again? Those few that support the Republican methodology. So, folks, the president is right. Inflation is high. We have to put people in power who are willing to do what's necessary to control inflation. We need to put people in power who are not scared of the types of policies which penalize those who abuse, penalize those who have failed policies, the corporatocracy, etc., to ensure that you are not left holding the bag. Elect Republicans mean higher interest rates, mean gun violence, mean all these issues. Elect progressives, and we can start building the progress that we need going forward. Absolutely. So if you remember what I said a few days ago, we have to campaign on the assertive. You never campaign on the defensive. You are always on the offensive. It is extremely, extremely important. Therefore, why is it inflation? Because of Republican policy. And you don't have to explain that unless asked, but always know the answer. Why are we going? I mean, I tell you what, later on, I'm going to play Bernie, and Bernie has the best answer for what we have to do. And I'll point that out later. But for now, I will digress and continue answering some questions here or reading out some comments, and then we'll continue with the program. Anyway, Michael Rudnin says, not that one. Robert Davenport says, why do we call the Surgeon General a general? Not in the military, but called a general. Attorney General, another example. Again, when you hear a lot of the right wing bring up silly things, right? Most of the times you can even find somebody in their own, not only just party, somebody actively serving that does the same thing. Remember what they did with Beto. Why don't you use your real name? You're trying to get on to the Hispanic, so you're calling yourself Beto O'Rourke instead of Robert O'Rourke. You know, they like to say that about Beto O'Rourke, right? But they don't say that about Rafael Cruz. He wanted to Angloize his name. So I am Ted Cruz. I'm Ted Cruz, right? It's amazing. You don't hear, the silly can't get more silly. The silly can't get sillier. Because here we go. Same Senate race. We're talking senators, right? We have a Beto O'Rourke and a Ted Cruz. One wanted to Angloize his name. The other one was given a name that is a Latino name, Beto, which is a Latino name for Robert, Roberto, Rigoberto, Gilberto, Egberto. There are a lot of other Bertos, It's amazing. I don't know why we love to put a whole lot of stuff inside. Gilberto, Rigoberto, Egberto, Roberto. There are several others. I can't even remember them right now. But there are so many other Bertos out there, right? Nosotros, así somos nosotros, ¿no? Así somos, ¿no? All right. Anyhow. Continuing, my dear brothers and sisters. PhD Dr. LOL says, Bridge MCP concerning Lina Hidalgo being a doctor, I think. All right, West says President Trump calls for peace. That doesn't deserve an answer, West. Paul Fleming Sr. says, the Speaker of the House of the United States of America saved the Vice President of the United States from the President of the United States. Think about that. Imagine that, huh? Imagine that. She was there busy calling all over the place. Finally, getting somewhere to kind of get the militia to come out. Not the militia, but the guards to come out. They're calling all the people that Donald Trump should have been calling, but Donald Trump didn't want that. Donald Trump wanted to get a few of them killed. Look, I think Donald Trump went for broke. Donald Trump went for broke. He wanted people to die left and right, and then he would declare martial law. And that's why you had a couple of generals in there that would have probably tried some sort of a mutiny and really declared martial law. But I think what he failed to note is that there may be a few crazy generals that like Donald Trump. But there are a whole lot of other people that simply would not have fallen for him, starting from the 4-star general up top. They wouldn't have fallen for that. So, he was flawed from the beginning. Así era la cosa. He was just flawed from the beginning. Melanie says, hey, Robert and Bridge, happy Friday. Bridge said, doesn't matter to your prior comment. And let's see what else we got here. Eric says, this guy doesn't understand squeeze if hit and normalize inflation rates. We gave you the explanation, but I can take the horse to the water. Can't ask it to drink. John Carter says, inflation may be high, but corporate profits are out of control, enriching the CEOs and shareholders. And John, I am glad you said that, because you actually gave the definition of inflation. The enrichment of those CEOs and shareholders is inflation. It's directly coming out of the pockets of the average American citizen. It's not a magical thing that appeared in their pockets. It's money removed from the pockets of that woman trying to pay her milk. It came out of the pocket of that woman taking her kid to daycare. That's where it came from. But when you have a news media that isolates corporate profit and inflation, isolates inflated CEO gains and shareholder gains, isolate that from inflation, it's problematic. You know why it's problematic? Because it's a lie. We got to get there. Thank you for bringing that up, John Carter. That was a very important commentary right there. All right, let's go to West. Says the companies run the gangster Biden government. Oh, man, you must be looking in the mirror, brother. Okay, Eric Hayes says administration is the one who was offshored energy to others and now begs. Okay, I said this before. I'm going to say it once again. The United States, because of policies all along, not only from Trump and Obama and others, because we never got off the oil, having oil people buy politicians, Democrats and Republicans alike, mostly Republicans, of course. But America is self-sufficient. Eric Hayes, self-sufficient means you create at least the amount of oil, at least the amount of gas that you need to serve the amount of usage in your own country. America surpassed that. America is a net exporter of energy. Can you understand that? If you understand that, it is impossible for you to make a lying statement, and I have to call it a lie, sir. It is impossible to say a lying statement that somehow we are offshoring the production of oil, given that we create enough oil in America to serve ourselves. You should apologize for putting that lie into the ethos if you want credibility, sir. Every time I've made a mistake and said something that was incorrect, I apologize. I await your apology, Eric Hayes, and not an apology to me, an apology to the space for lying to them knowingly. Tom C. would love to see Liz Cheney go head-to-head with Donald Trump live on TV. He won't accept it because he is scared of women. He's scared of smart women. He has always been scared of smart women. Would be better than a WWE wrestling match with Liz Dragon Lady Cheney versus Donald the Incredible Orange Hulk Trump. Hey, Tom C., I didn't know you had that in you, brother. I love that, Tom. Hey, Tom, I have some stuff to put into your files on the Politics Done Right website with some more great stuff that you have. I just got so much I'm doing. And this weekend I got to do taxes. So forgive me. I won't get it this weekend. I will try my best to get it soon. All right, we got Bridge MCP. You are correct. What is going on at the Secret Service and the FBI? We have a phantom government working against democracy. Egberto, this is a real threat to us all. Exactamente. We have included in the military too. Remember what Trump did when he put this guy's brother, and this guy brother is what held back the messages to get the troops out to solve the problem at the what is his name? The general that got convicted. Anyhow, Paul Fleming says Hitler didn't directly take people to the gas chamber, but he's responsible. Bin Laden did not fly the planes into the tower, but he's responsible. Trump did not storm the Capitol, but he and only he, and many others are responsible. Thank you for that one. Flynn, thank you, Davenport Flynn. Flynn's brother is a general, I think, as well, and he was kind of mucking things up to prevent folks from going out there and doing their job. All right. Now, continuing. Yes, Robert Davenport, I mean, Pence would not get in the car. There were some of them involved and deleted texts. Imagine that. You're scared of your own safety detail. That's a shame. All right. Mike Cisak says, Paul, Trump wasn't responsible for the FBI who led the rioters. That has been proven false. There was no FBI leading no rioters. That's a lie, and it's been proven a lie. But, who you guys are going to not believe that because you don't mind being willfully ignorant. That's what it is. I love you, but you're willfully ignorant. All right. The details of that altercation were disputed, but then we learned that one of those seeking to argue against them was Tony Ornato, a former Secret Service agent who is in unprecedented twist had been made Trump's deputy chief of staff. We also learned that the Secret Service had mysteriously wiped text records from their phones that could shed light on what happened on Jan 6. This was especially important because Vice President Pence was revealed to have been unwilling to leave the Capitol with the Secret Service because he did not trust them. He was unsure where they might take him if they were working on Trump's behalf. The case of the missing text extended anywhere with Dark State as well. For example, the team... Look, we can find those texts, okay? We can find those texts. They are in the cloud. We just have to do some digging. It wouldn't surprise me if they already have it. Eric has, you lie, sorry, and we don't, sorry, and we don't, our supply is under the U.S. is 20 million barrels a day, and America doesn't produce much that day. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord. Didn't I show you, hey, do me a favor, Rudnin. I pulled up in several shows ago the article from the U.S. government that pointed out that we make more energy than we export. Please find that document for me because I'm doing a whole lot of things at the same time, and doing a search will kind of mess me up right now. So please find the document. I've already proved it. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Egberto isn't a liar. Eric Hayes is a liar, according to Carl Cox. Let's see what else we got here. Egberto, you are being willfully ignorant. I posted a link to videos showing the FBI agent on J6 leading the riders. Oh boy. Bridge MCP, you go, Nanette Birdsmith. I didn't see Nanette Birdsmith in the house. Where is she? I didn't see her. Otherwise, I would have saluted. Oh, there we go. Nanette Birdsmith. I survived, Eon. And Nanette, I didn't realize you were in Florida. Any damage to your place? Did you lose anything at all? I hope you didn't. All right. Anyhow, I want you to listen to what Bernie Sanders want us to do. And I agree wholeheartedly. Let's take that on the other side. Let's do it and then take it on the other side. You know, both Biden and Bernie Sanders are starting to say, you have to take it to the GOP. I want you to listen to this and then we'll take it on the other side. There's much to say about this, but let's take it on the other side.
One senator is calling out this disconnect and arguing that Democrats will not just win on abortion or just lose on the economy. Senator Bernie Sanders, independent of Vermont, writes in The Guardian that Democrats need to focus more on a pro-worker agenda, saying, quote, while the abortion issue must remain on the front burner, it would be political malpractice for Democrats to ignore the state of the economy and allow Republican lies and distortions to go unanswered. Senator Sanders is a former Democratic presidential candidate, and he joins me now. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Senator, President Biden has a pretty amazing, unprecedented record on job creation. Gas prices are ticking up after a 99-day fall because of OPEC, Saudi Arabia, Ukraine, not because of him. So what are Democrats supposed to do to win people over on the economy? Republicans have the lead on this issue. It might be unfair.
That's right.
Is there anything Democrats can do to change that?
Well, it's not a question of being unfair. It's totally absurd. You have a Republican Party who on every single issue impacting working families is on the wrong side. And yet what polls show is that people think that Republicans are going to do a better job for them than Democrats. So what we have got to do is, A, of course, deal with the abortion issue. What the Supreme Court did is totally outrageous. Of course, we have to go after Republicans who are trying to undermine our democracy that people fought and died to preserve. But what we have got to do is take the attack to Republicans on the economy. Don't be on the defensive. You got 60% of the people in this country who are living paycheck to paycheck. Millions are working for starvation wages. I introduced legislation for a $15 an hour minimum wage. I got 0 Republicans. We're the only major country on earth not to have paid family and medical leave. We need at least 12 weeks. 0 Republicans support that. Only major country not to have universal health care. No Republicans support that. At a time of massive income and wealth inequality, the American people want billionaires to start paying their fair share of taxes. No Republicans support that. So what I am saying is you got to go on the offensive. These people are phonies. They are corporate, working for corporations. We have got to take the fight to them.
We're absolutely so. We have got to take the fight. And what I mean by that is don't allow smoke and mirrors to work. All the policies that will help Americans during these times of high inflation, all the policies that will help Americans due to lack of having intelligent form of healthcare, all of these policies out there will be made worse by Republicans because they are the ones who are making it bad in the first place. If progressives get the things that they want, America will grow towards being that utopia I always write about, because we have what it takes to be or to become that utopia. But we can't do it by allowing folks to scare Americans into voting against their own interests, which is what the MAGA Republicans are doing right now. We have to wake up. We have to be smart. We have to look and elect people, irrespective of our ideology, who is going to be looking out for our economic success to ensure that our personal economies stay on the positive side of the ledger, as opposed to what will occur if progressives and Democrats lose control of any one of the houses. So take that, guys. Take the fight. Do not sit back there and somehow think you have to cower because of inflation. You don't use inflation as something to be that you need to defend. You go on the attack on inflation. And thank you for showing that document. Let's see. El Señor, there you go. The United States was a total petroleum net exporter in 2020 and 2021. Okay. So here that's your answer. This is coming from Rudnin. Here we go. Let me put that on the screen. Oil Petroleum Products explained. The United States was a total petroleum net exporter in 2020 and 2021, and of course 2022 is still going. Let's go a little bit further with another document and from a fact checker that says, however, by any of those definitions, the U.S. was still energy independent in 2021 under President Joe Biden, contrary to claims made by Republicans who have suggested otherwise. So folks, let's get real. Stop lying. Again, as I said, Eric, you owe the space an apology. You owe our space an apology because you came out here and you lied to folks even after presented with valid information, not only from a fact-checked organization, but also directly from the EIA, etc., etc., etc. You simply lied. That's not good. Credibility demands, it must be earned. Credibility must be earned. Michael René says, Egberto, I read that one already. Credibility must be earned. John Carter says, probably even more export this year with the natural gas going to Europe. Exactly right. So smart, so smart. Again, I just showed you that, you know something, Eric? I'm sorry, I've just lost respect for you. I've just showed you several sources that gives the actual number of exports and imports, and you come back and say, sorry, no lie, sorry. Or you see why we don't take the people on the right seriously? Oh, my God. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and go to Paul Fleming says, Texas law enforcement has certified that the migrants that run DeSantis flew to Martha's Vineyards as victims of a crime and could qualify for a U visa. You know what's so funny, Paul? I have a piece on that I got from the news that said, hey, this guy wanted to hurt these guys and instead he's going to get them U visas. I have a piece already done for that. I just hadn't played it. It hadn't come up in the subject. So, wow, good minds think alike. Maywood says, good afternoon, everybody. Sorry for being late, but you're here. You're here. Nanette Bird Smith says, roof, soffit, trees, but I've evacuated after mandate was issued for my home. Cape Coral has had a lot of destruction. We are a community of blue roofs and a community coming together. I love when community come together. Forget about ideology and come together in our humanity. That is so good. I hope your roof. Take a picture and if you don't mind, if it's not too hurtful, so that we here can see what you have, and if you let us know your insurance situation, etc., so that we can, we want to do what we can. So let us know all of that, Nanette Birdsmith. Thank you for being here after going through that turmoil altogether. West, you lie enough, eventually you get people who still listen to you annoyed. It's interesting, right? I think they've done us a good favor here. And the good favor that they've done is to let us show that even after showing irrefutable information to folks on the right, that the willful, this true willful ignorance would just have you just wanting to not accept it. If you tell me I'm wrong, I want to look, like I tell folks, you guys have corrected me before, and I've then run over to old videos that I've made to correct the mistake. Sometimes I've had to cut out a video of me saying something and me dubbing it to say the right thing. That's how much respect I have for all of you to make sure that I tell the truth all of the times. I've gone into old videos and corrected on podcasts, man. And that's harder than doing it live, But it shows that what some of us show is the following. There are some people on the right that are convincible, redeemable. In other words, and on the left too, by the way, but it's fewer on the left, that just want to hold on to their thoughts, right? I had a meeting recently, and I won't say what organization, And they just couldn't accept that there were issues in that organization. And they said, do most of these folks feel that way? They don't. So we don't want to do it because they don't. And my answer to them was, every single one of them feel that way. All you have to do is ask. Ask. But let's be truthful, man. Let's be truthful. All right, if I'm missing anything, just put it again in the bottom. John Carter says, probably even more export this year with natural gas. I read that one. Carl Cox says, given the mega rich tax cuts and given mega corporations corporate welfare benefits, only benefit the mega rich. And let's see, Paul Fleming says, hiking the feed rate, the feed rates won't slow down the Fed rates won't slow down inflation because it's coming from big corporations using the cover of its increases. And you know what else they do? As more subsidies come, they want to take it away. That's what they did with the gas prices. We give the Americans credit, or we give the Americans some money. We're going to create inflation to take it away. But how hard is it for Americans to get it? Shakula Hairstylist, how you doing, my beautiful Shakula Hairstylist? She says, vote. Shakula says to vote. Let's listen to what Shakula has to say. Vote. Let's see what else we have here. Para ver, and forgive me if I missed a few. Michael says, Egberto, I've not taken conservatives on the right seriously for years. Most of them don't know how to distinguish truth from lies. Again, let's look at Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney is a conservative. She doesn't believe in the things we believe in. But at least she, she still believes in a Laffer curve. But hell, it's coming from an economist. But that's for another day. Nanette Bird says, it's tarped and I'm waiting an adjuster. Thank you, Nanette. Keep us posted, Nanette, okay? I appreciate you keeping us posted. Paul Fleming says, again, Republicans aren't interested in the truth. Bridge MCP says, why keep giving medicine to the dead? After a while, I'm done. They have blinders on. But you know what? Remember what I constantly say to all of you. This program has right now, altogether, they combine about 30 people watching combined in the different platforms. But it will have thousands watching this episode as it goes into the different channels, okay? So when we correct Eric Hayes or otherwise, what we're doing is not just talking to Eric who wants to continue a sense of willful ignorance. We're also and I say that with respect, Eric, but that's what you're doing. We want to talk to all those that are also listening to the program. That's what we do. Paul Fleming says, again, Republicans aren't interested in the truth. Bridge, let's see. Eric says, Healer is a wartime vet and went to West Point. I guess I'm lying there too. That's not the point. If you're telling the truth, you're telling the truth. The last time you lied, I don't know about Mealer, right? But given your track record, I can't take what you say at face value. When Michael Rudden says something, when John Carter says something, when Paul Fleming says something, when May Wood says something, they come with a link and they've earned the respect that sometimes I will just say, hey guys, Michael says this, Bridge MCP says this. I take it at face value because they've earned that respect. When you come with certain, or Robert Davenport for that matter, but when you come with this, with places that are simply, how can one respect what you're saying without doing further research? I mean, you could be right, but you haven't earned the respect. You have to earn the respect. Crude oil in the this is what you say now. Crude oil in the United States is the world's largest producer of crude oil, producing about 12 million barrels per day. The main oil producing states in the U.S. are Alaska, whatever. What are you trying to say? Huh? Again, we just told you what we are net exporters. Net exporters of oil mean that we create enough oil in the United States to fulfill our needs. Oh my God, how difficult is that? Let's see. Lee Grant says, we do give medicine to the dead. It's called for... Lee, you're so damn funny. It ain't funny. All right. Let me go ahead and listen to our last one because I want to, you know what? It's only 9 minutes. Is that true? All right. I'll have to do the Medicare Advantage one again. All right. Let's go ahead and do that. The next one. Oh boy. Uh, anyhow, let's do this. I need to go ahead and play my ask. I forgot what time it was, so let me do the ask, and then we'll move thereafter.
Politics done right depends on you to keep doing what we do. What do? We make sure to keep, number one, the internet seeded with blogs and information to counter the right and to present what progressives represent for the benefit of us all to everybody so that it's not misread, misled by any other entity. We make sure and populate that internet with blogs, with videos, with all these other things to make sure that we are informed and to counter everything that you normally hear that are lying at the right. We also make sure to create articles in magazines, articles in newspapers all around the country to ensure, again, that our message gets out there. Last but not least, we also write books. As you see it, Class Warfare, the Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom, How to Make America Utopia, are two of the many books that I've written on these issues. So please support us in one of many ways. Numero uno, you can support us at PayPal, either one time or monthly. Go to politicsdoneright.com/PayPal. You can support us on Patreon. That is politicsdoneright.com/Patreon. Patreon is spelled Patreon. You can support us by becoming a part of our YouTube channel, going to politicsdoneright.com/YouTube, or you can support us in many other forms that you can find at politicsdoneright.com/support. Be sure to visit our store, politicsdoneright.com/store, and get our books at politicsdoneright.com/books.
All right. Since I wanted to clear this subject up, it's important because when you get half the information and all that kind of stuff, it hurts. And I want to close out the oil debate here. How much of the crude oil produced in the United States is consumed in the United States? And here's what it says. EIA's final annual output, and this is not for this year, but for 2021, U.S. total petroleum production averaged about 18.62 million barrels per day. Okay? It's on the screen right now because this is important just to prove that the lies that go across on the right has to be handled right away. Again, EIA's final annual data 2021 indicates the U.S. total petroleum output, which in 2021 we were also net energy exporters. Crude oil, 11.254 million barrels a day. Hydrocarbon gas liquids, 6.042 million barrels per day. Biofuels and oxygenates, 1.1365 million barrels per day. Refinery processing gains, 0.956 million barrels a day. Again, you are absolutely wrong. And by the way, this number is 18 million for 2021. That we have increased it since 2022. It's not enough for you to get the truth. Eric, give in and apologize and gain some respect. Because you are lying to the people and you are repeating lies coming from your side of the aisle that is only known for lying. Crude oil, we don't... you must not have worked in the oil industry to understand how fracking, how distillation works. You need to learn about fracking, and I'm not talking fracking in the ground, but fracking, distillation, etc., where you turn all these different types of fuels into the particular fuel you like, because every fuel can be fracked into different products. So if you got crude, just crude oil out of the ground, you can frack that into gasoline and these other gases, etc. If you have cooking oil, you can frack it into gasoline and other things as well, because it's a process of extracting the different and creating with catalysts the different chains of hydrocarbons that give you the particular type of fluid that you like. And of course, at the end of that, you get that very, what you call that kind of carbon again? The carbon kind of briquettes kind of a thing. Coke. The end product being Coke. You know, look, let me tell you, folks, I know Robert Davenport, Bridge MCP, Michael, sometimes you guys get upset at me. I understand. Because I try to put this info out here to people who don't want to hear it. The reason I do it is not for Eric. Eric may be a lost case. Eric may be happy to be unknowledgeable. He may be happy to be there. But there are a lot of people who are hearing the same information that Eric is hearing. And when they pull Politics Done Right over on Spotify or whatever, they hear this discussion between Eric and what we're talking about. They are able to see, and by the way, the Spotify, for those who subscribe now, also have the video there. They get to hear this information, and they are willing to be truthful with themselves. We can't leave anybody behind. Eric is leaving himself behind. We cannot leave everybody behind. We have to make that effort. We are one country. We have to make that effort. Okay? We really have to make that effort. So, I mean, disregard what they're saying, and let's just look at the fact-based data. Okay? Let's just look at the fact-based data, because it seems like, well, anyway, I'm not going to go there. All right, let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Maywood says, I'm sorry what it's all about. All I caught was that there's something to do with oil. What was there? Eric was trying to say that we're not a net exporter of oil. So it's kind of it's kind of funny, but it's okay. Michael René says, Egberto, you can stop trying to get an apology from a conservative. Their mode of operation is wrong and strong. There's no winning an argument on the internet. Just move on. No, wait. I hear you, brother. I hear you. This isn't for Eric. Eric gives me the opportunity to go ahead and preach to folks, because for every Eric, there are thousands of others out there. But the difference between Eric and others is that others are willing to learn. That's all. All right, let's continue with the Oh, folks, please. I didn't put my ask in there for the to subscribe to my the stuff that I have on Spotify. If you go to anchor.fm, and I'm going to put the link in here in a minute as soon as I find it. I need subscribers to not only Patreon and PayPal. I honestly need subscribers. The well is running. The well has been dry. I need some subscribers to our channel, and I'm trying to find it here, and I can't find it. There we go. Here we go. Please consider subscribing to anchor.fm/Egberto Willies/subscribe. I have it on the screen. It's only $4.99. It's like saying I'm going to buy Politics Done Right, a cup of coffee a month. Please consider doing that. I ask you so kindly. Politics, it's anchor.fm/Egberto Willies/subscribe. What that does is we try to monetize different services that we provide to best able to continue doing this. It's difficult, but it's what we have to do. So again, just like I'm trying to raise $150,000 for KPFT, I have to raise some for Politics Done Right. That's right here as well. Everything that's done at KPFT is 100% volunteering. That's all I do at KPFT. I drive 3 times a week, 64 miles round trip. That's my gas to support KPFT. We're raising $150,000 for KPFT, but I have to raise for Politics Done Right here on my this show only. So I ask you for whatever support you can give, either through PayPal, Patreon, YouTube, Facebook, store, or otherwise, so we can continue doing this. He likes to see good name mentioned, like his daddy Trump. You're so funny. John Carter says, disregarding facts is what gives us authoritarians. Lies, half-truths, and complete obfuscation is what gives us these cult followers. Mike Cisak says, Maywood, actually, we consume most of the oil we produce, but there are certain quality type oils that we don't, and we ship that to be processed in other countries due to not having the refineries to process it. And why don't we have some of the refineries, which CSAC is correct? We don't have the refineries because the profit motive of these corporations, they want subsidies to do just about everything while they make billions in profits. They don't want to hire Americans to create these refineries, which they can do on the space that they have right now. But again, that's how it is. That's how it is. But as long as we have people defending them, as long as we people haven't defended them, pill for us all. It's hard to change, but that's what we're here for. That's what we are here for. That is what we are here for. Folks, I really want to kindly thank you all for the support that you give Politics Done Right, for being here every day. I couldn't do this without you. I do 10 shows a week. 3 at KPFT and 7 online as we do. It's a lot of work, but we do it because we have got to do it. We have a lot of folks in this room here that do a lot of work. I see John Carter, who flies to Germany round trip. He flies these big birds. I think he flies a 757. He flies to Germany. He comes back and he's stumping the ground, doing voter contacts, doing marching, getting folks to vote. All of us have to do something. Let's all do something. I see Lee Grant in the, Lee Grant, I know Lee Grant. Well, Lee Grant is a supporter of this show. Lee Grant does his part. Lee Grant supports the show. Carl Cox support the show. All of you guys. Bridge is a great supporter of the show. Davenport, great supporter of the show. Nanette Burt's, all of you guys are wonderful supporters of the show. You guys are doing your part in helping getting things done, for which I want to say thank you. 777. Sorry, man. I downgraded you, man. Sorry. Don't hold it against me. I'm sorry I downgraded you. Anyway, we got to shut this show down. My name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.